So nothing bad is going to happen during this festival performance, right? They're gonna have a flawless play. Everybody's going to be wowed at Hitori's guitar skill when she does her guitar solo, right? And everything's going to be fine and dandy, nothing bad. It's going to happen. I mean, I would assume. We'll just have to see. But this is the final episode of Bocchi the Rock, and I would like to thank those who have been sticking around since the first episode. I always like having to talk to the same people and get to hear their perspective, or get to hear, you know, just to see you guys' comments here and there. It's very nice. As I say with every at the end of every discussion, I always like talking with you guys, and sometimes, you know, I just don't know what to say, so that's why you don't get a response from me. If you're just here for the final episode, or just in some of the more, I don't know, important episodes or whatever, hello, I hope you stick around a little bit longer, but you will never know. Well, I'll never know. Anyways, if you guys like the content, remember to leave a like on the video, and subscribe if you haven't, and if you didn't like the content, dislike the video and we'll be on our way. Let's get started. Really, still got her in a fucking grapple, dude. That was some weird layering that they had of the audience. Oh, she's gonna look. Guess she's been looking at her guitar this whole time, so. Oh, somebody had a wait, no, that's the same class. They had a butler and maid cafe, right? Even though we only saw maids. Damn, dude, Kita gave a fucking wink. Nice, okay. So that's the first song. Alright, we're gonna have a second song with the guitar solo, huh? The guitar is not sounding good, or like it seems like she's trying to adjust it. I forgot what it's called. The apocalyptic junkies? I was gonna call them junkies. Uh-oh. So look, this is what happens when they put a fucking jinx on you. Oh, it fucking... Did it just... Oh, it just... Oh, time to improvise, huh? So look, it's like I said, they fucking jinxed you by saying how old your fucking guitar is. Oh, damn, dude, she's fucking rocking out. Oh, you gotta... Oh! What is that? I mean, I'm not a guitarist, but like, the only thing I can assume that the way that she did that, it's kind of like... I just want to say it's like a vibrato effect. Oh, shit! Look at that. You encountered a trouble and you immediately got over it. Alright. Oh. You're a great whatever, son. Oh shit, look at them! Getting the recognition. Uh-oh. You're hot micing right now, Hitori. You're hot micing right. It's just. I swear they're not going to catch her, but. She fucking fell. I'm sorry about my sister. What? Or you showed another side of you that people didn't know you had, so. She fell face flat. How is it the only thing you needed was on her cheek? The first time she saw Hitori with her guitar. You know, I was excited for the after party. More drinks. Well, it's all ending. The stage diver. Oh. Yeah, you'll quit when you graduate. Don't worry, your dad got it on video. Oh, it's the guitar? I mean, it's an old guitar, so like... Yeah, you can fix it. It's pretty rad. Oh shit, my god, dude! I can't accept your dirty money. Yeah, you guys are pretty well off from the fucking house that you've got. Whoa! That's her monetization money? Whoa. Wow. Damn, dude, he fucking applied for the partnership for her. How the fuck did she get so much money? Alright, how many views are she getting to be getting that much fucking money? 300,000, that's... How much is that? $3,000? 3,000 USD. Quitting working? It's my last day here. Maybe I should ghost them. What? What? Oh, wow, how convenient. Subliminal messaging. Oh shit! They're just paying absolutely no mind to her bullshit. Look at the damn instruments. You can... Yeah, where are all the drummers at? Uh-oh, uh-oh. Especially for the price. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. How close is she? Like, Jesus Christ, I... She's just a puppet. Oh, she's like a ventriloquist dummy. Alright. Well, the shop owner isn't as scary as you thought they'd be. Oh, holy shit. Shit. I was thinking, I'm like, it does look like the same one. I guess that old guitar really is the one that she puts when she gets famous. She'll put all the pearls around it. She's getting a new guitar now, which essentially is kind of like, it's sort of like an evolution in itself, you know, that like she's shedding her first phase of rock, and now she's heading into a new stage. I said phase before. Anyway, she's heading to a new stage, which is like her on her own, because before she was using her dad's guitar. So now she has her own guitar to make her own music with, so it's very nice, and I like that that's how this ends, you know, with her getting a new identity at school, but also her getting her new guitar as well. I was gonna say guitar identity, but I still can't get over 300,000 yen. How many views? Or she said she had like 4,000. She's at least in the thousands, but not like under. No, she said 50,000. I can't remember. Mm-hmm. All right, another day. Okay, so 300. Did I say it was about $3,000? Well, I mean, super roughly, but that is about 2,000. So that's like $2,000. So she earned $2,000 from what is, I don't know what is the rate, what is the RPM for music, right? And like, if she plays, if it's just a guitar rock cover, would that also potentially get copyright claim and like the monetization gets taken away? I don't know what is the RPM for music and like the advertisers and all that, right? But also, how many views is she getting? If she's earning $2,000 in this day and age on the not YouTube. I guess that's the reality of Bocchi the Rock, is that they're not on YouTube. And it's just some other random fucking website that's sort of like YouTube, but in their world. I assume they probably didn't have the adpocalypse just yet, so she's probably making good money despite her size in her channel, because $2,000, and especially if she's not releasing a lot of videos nowadays. Okay. I'm gonna I'm gonna stop talking about monetization for now, and I'm gonna go write my notes, and so we'll be back to the center. Okay, so this is the part where I mentioned, like, this is a odd layering, where, like, you see the first layer, you know, the foremost layer with these two girls, you see that, like, they're moving, right? But then the second layer of audience, they're not moving. They're not moving. But then the audience in, like, the third layer, you know, the most in the back, are moving. And it's just a little, you know, it's just a little odd. You know, I kind of feel like if you just take out that second layer, it would be fine. But I mean, it's only for, like, how many seconds? For, like, 2 seconds, maybe? Let's see here. 4 seconds. I guess maybe, you know, people are too busy jamming out, they won't notice it, but okay. Okay, so I didn't miss anything. I wanted to watch that again just in case I missed something from all the hiding that I was doing in this situation. Jesus Christ. Okay, I was missing out a little bit on this part of the conversation. You got so good so fast. Okay. Only for rhythm, of course. I can't do the kind of playing that really draws people in. I'm not a melody driver. But I seem to be pretty good with the give and take with you guys. I'm gonna keep working on my playing, so please keep teaching me. She's really out, yeah, like, she's like, I'm not the fucking melody guitarist out here. I'm just here to keep the fucking rhythm, bro. Guitar Hero, this song's been a big hit with all my friends lately. I sing this all the time at karaoke. The chorus gets everyone so hyped. My boyfriend loves this song, damn! So, it's balanced out by my sadness at seeing you get better and better at lying. Oh my god! If I buy a guitar that costs 100k, so I said 300 was very super roughly 3,000. It's not 3,000 anymore. Then 1,000, it'd be roughly 100k would be roughly 1,000. Except, it's not 1,000. It's probably like $200 or something. Or $300, somewhere around there. Honestly, if I was her dad, I wouldn't give her all that fucking money. Like, I'd give it to her in, like, allowances. As much as it is, you probably shouldn't give your kid 3,000 fucking dollars. Or at the very least, if you've got a kid, you know, and they're making money, you should probably, instead of giving them it in cash, actually, you should probably open a bank for them. You know, preferably a bank that's connected to yours. So then they can have the money and you still have access to it in case, you know, they do. Anyways. Just saying, just don't go about giving your fucking kid $3,000 in cash. Like, Jesus Christ, especially if they're in high school or some shit. So, she says if I put on headphones like I'm listening to music, maybe no one will talk to me. And then she comes in like, what? Oh, dude, honestly, this... Okay, out of every fucking gag that they've shown in this anime, that is, like, my favorite one. Like, the fact that she came in fucking headbanging, and then they show a perspective of her doing the headbanging, and, like, the world's all blurry and shit, because she's too busy just fucking headbanging. And the fact that after that, they go into this shot, right, with everybody just casually, doing their fucking shopping, and Hitori's in the back just fucking headbanging it out. And so this one is with... You Yeah, this is just Rio being upset that they're not looking at the fucking instruments, that they're looking at the picks and the straps and everything. Look, man, accessories are great. Alright? It makes the stuff that you just bought look even better. Alright, so that was episode 12 of Bocchi the Rock, the finale. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments down below. You know that I always like talking to you guys. For me, if this was the actual conclusion to Bocchi the Rock, I probably would think that it was an alright episode, but consider that the series is still ongoing, I assume, and there could be a potential for it to get a second season. Honestly, for me, whenever I watch an anime, I never expect it to have a second season. You know, there's so many anime that never gets a season 2. A lot of anime that I like never get season 2, so I'm just kind of like, whatever. You know, if it gets a season 2, it gets it. But I know that, you know, usually with series that's still ongoing, they'll have these sort of endings to where it's just kind of like, hey, you know, we're open to a new season, or
just read the fucking manga.
So that's what this ending feels like. You know, it's, of course, it's not conclusive, but it continues to be what is it, an evolution point, you know, a growth point for Hitori, for her to continue to move on her path to stardom, to her rockhood and all that. You know, as I said, with her gaining a new identity at her school, that people are now recognizing her instead of just, you know, people in her classroom being like, oh, she's that girl who never really talks to anybody. Now she's that girl who is crazy for rock, and she also would love to stage dive, I suppose. And so she's got that new identity, you know, even though she probably doesn't want it. She's like, oh, I can't wait to quit high school. To which, again, you'll quit high school when you graduate. She's also getting her new guitar. Again, this is just me repeating myself, you know, it's her getting her new identity, because before she was playing on her dad's guitar, which even though, you know, he lent it to her and let her borrow it and all that, it was still part of her dad's identity. And now she's getting her new guitar that she bought with her own money, and she has essentially full ownership of. So it's a new identity for her as well, with her learning to play with her new guitar and adjusting herself to it. It is very nice. But going back to the beginning of the episode, as I said, you know, hopefully nothing bad happens, especially after they made that fucking comment about how old her guitar is. Like, Jesus Christ. One of the peg broke for her guitar, and so she also couldn't really adjust one of her strings correctly, and so it had broke in the middle of the concert. And I really like that modern problems requires modern solutions. And so Hitori takes Hiroi's glass bottle, which is very funny considering that Hiroi was just like, you know, for this special occasion, I've decided to drink in glass bottles, and here's Hiroi helping out my girl Hitori. She's really out here for the emotional support and just regular support in general. If she didn't have the glass bottle, it would be interesting to see what Hitori could have done. I really like that whole solution. You know, it's always nice to see like how music artists, well, guitarists, and you know, people who play music instruments, to see how they deal with something bad that happens on stage, whether it's their string broken or whatever. It's really nice to see it. And for some reason, whenever there are segments like these in anime, I'm always reminded of Golgo 13. Very odd, considering that anime is about a fucking hitman. But there's one episode in Golgo 13 that I really like, and it was a special occasion where instead of killing somebody, he was hired by another musician, where he had the trauma of his E string breaking. He's a violinist. His E string broke, and so he couldn't handle the pressure of having that string broke and not knowing what the fuck to do on stage. So he was essentially humiliated on stage, and he wanted this other violinist to suffer the same fate. So Golgo, he had to go through all this method of like, what am I going to do in order to get people to not realize that I was shooting at this guy. So it was a really nice thing where he basically had to aim specifically at the man's E string. And it's so great. And of course, he had to make it to where, like, people won't notice that it's a fucking bullet that just shoot at this guy. And, like, you know, an attempt of an assassination, even though it really wasn't. He was just aiming for the fucking E string. Which he did. He broke that man's E string. And so as the other violinist was going to revel in that man's humiliation, he realized that the violinist on stage just adjusted his A string to sound like an E string, and he just continued playing the fucking violin like it was nothing. So every time I see some sort of like problems, like, you know, musical stuff problem on stage and see how people fix it, I'm always reminded of that one episode from Golgo 13. Other than Hitori resolving it by using the glass bottle, I like that Kita was out here ad-libbing for Hitori, you know, to give her just a little bit more time for her to adjust to what she should be doing. So I really like that, and I really like that kind of goes with what Kita says later on. Actually, let me just talk about Kita and Hitori at this point, because for the last 2-3 episodes, you know, including this one, we've had a lot more focus on Kita and Hitori, which has been very nice, because I feel like in terms of connection, we've had a lot of episodes that connected us with Hitori and Nijika, which is an understandable thing because Nijika was the person who brought Hitori into this world. And so I very much like that. Rio kind of just had like one episode throughout this entire series with Hitori, and then other than that, it's just kind of, we went back to this relationship of Rio trying to smooch off of Hitori, and also Kita as well. So we kind of just, yeah, I felt like Rio kind of just fell back on that gag, and I was just kind of like, I kind of wish we saw a little bit more of her. But again, I like the connection that Hitori had with Nijika, and then I like that towards the end of the series we've had this connection between her and Kita. Of course, we already had it in episode 3, but it was nice to see it a lot more. And so you know, with what I said about how Kita is starting to understand Hitori just a little bit more, but we see here in this episode that she still obviously doesn't understand it all that much, when she literally just, it's like, oh, it looks like Hitori wants to say something, you know, Koto-san, you want to say something? And just gives her the fucking microphone, and it's just like, oh, Kita, like, you're doing great at talking to people yourself, but like, don't give the fucking mic to other people when they didn't fucking ask for it, you know? And oh man, of course, Hiroi is still here in Hitori's brain, and she was trying to figure out what she should do, and she's just like, oh yeah, Hiroi goes in crowd surf, so she's gonna do it in an audience that is not prone to crowd surf. So of course she fucking fell flat and just fainted. Which is just fan-fucking-tastic, dude. After that, you know, they were in the nurse's office where Hitori finally got to tell Kita that she's been improving rapidly. Like, wow, you're really improving real fast. And Kita says, well, it's only for rhythm. And I like that. I suppose, I don't know, is this something that Kita's been wanting to say, but she's just been leaving it out this whole time? I wonder, because, you know, she's been wanting to say something 2 times, but she just stops herself. The first time is in her head, and the second time is with actually Hitori, but she stopped herself there. And so I wonder if this is something that she wanted to talk about, where she says, I know that my playing won't attract people, but I'm good at the give and take. And so, you know, that's why she's been getting good, but only for rhythm, but also because of that, she wants to be able to support Hitori, which is also nice in the way that it showcased the exact spot where she saw Hitori with her guitar in the first episode. So I really like that, and how, as she says, you know, her playing won't attract people, and that's essentially what Hitori's playing is. She attracts people, and just like how she attracted Kita to and brought her back to the band, you know, and give her this new experience that she would have never been able to experience because she was too busy running away from it. Just like how she attracted her 2 fans, just like how she attracted Hiroi and all that. You know, Hitori's just got this energy to her that attracts people to her. So I really like that the both of them got to talk it out, and for Kita to establish her relationship with Hitori. So it was very nice. And I think I already talked about like her new identity and all that, right? Oh man, so after that, we had Hitori apologizing to her dad about the broken guitar and all that, but it was also time for her to get a new guitar. So her dad gave her essentially $2,200 in cash. And okay, I already went on a whole rant about monetization on channels, alright? So I'm not gonna go into that fucking rant again. But I will continue to say, you probably shouldn't give your kid $2,000 in cash. I don't know, maybe it's like extremely... I mean, I would assume it's much safer in Japan, but I still wouldn't want to give kids $2,000 in cash. Again, just, you know, at the very least, put in a fucking bank for your kid. You know, put some interest on put in a saving and get some interest on. Look, all I'm gonna say is PayPal does savings now, so like you could also put it on PayPal as well and like have it connected to your child. Because I remember I had a buddy of mine who, you know, back when we were all underage and all that, when he had his own little bank set up on PayPal through his parents' account and all that. So anyways, I like that now that she has all this money and she's just like, well, if I just spend like, I don't know, $200 on a new guitar or whatever, 203 or whatever, you know, she's like, I could quit because I could just pay for the quota for the next 2 years. Fantastic. And then she gets this big energy, you know, this big dick energy that she's like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking quit. And she goes and she tries to, you know, tell the manager that she's going to quit, but ends up being a little too intimidated. To which it's just kind of like, yeah, I get it, you hate working and all, but like, once you quit your job and you realize that you're not really talking much with your band, like, you're probably gonna miss work. I'm just saying, you're probably gonna end up missing work despite not having to work anymore. I like that somehow she's just like, what if I buy something from the manager and she'll let me quit? Which is like, what kind of bribery is this that you have to buy your manager something for them to let you quit? Like, if that was the case, I think that'd be against the law. Anyways, I like that she wanted to get something from the manager, but the manager said she didn't want anything, but her usual tsundere self comes out after they left and she's just like, well, I wanted it to be a surprise. Yeah, well, guess what? You're not getting anything because you said that you didn't want anything. Should have just said, I wanted it to be a surprise, or get whatever the fuck you want. But her soon had gotten in the way. And so after that, the band went to the music shop and we got to see Hitori's imagination running wild again, where she's afraid to talk to the music store manager because she's afraid that she's gonna piss them off and they're gonna get angry at her or some shit. And I love that she's like, what if I have headphones on, you know? Maybe they won't talk to me then. To which she just starts headbanging when she comes into the store. Like I said, that gag out of everything is one of my favorites. That is so fucking great. That gag is going to live rent-free in my head for the rest of my fucking days. And I just especially love that she's continuing to fucking headbang as the storefront people are just like, ma'am, are you okay? What's going on? Are you alright? Please, I know you're a metal player. Just come upstairs. We've got the metal guitars right here. I love it. It's great. Anyways, Hitori sees a guitar that looks similar to her old guitar. I mean, I assume that's one of the reasons why she's attracted to it. And I like that when the manager came to talk to her, you know, her social anxiety just made her conked out before Kita comes in, and it was basically helping out Hitori with the transaction and everything. I love it, dude. It kind of makes me feel like that's how I am with my friends sometimes, where I just don't want to talk to people, you know? So then I'll just tell them to tell the other people other stuff, you know? Like if I'm at a restaurant or something and I'm just like, oh, they forgot this, can you tell them that? Instead of just, you know, waving down the server and saying it myself, I just tell other people to say it for me because I don't want to talk to them. I kind of felt that with like Kita leaning in closer to Hitori and just like, yeah, what's that? What are you saying? Even though I don't know whether she actually was saying anything or again, she was just a fucking puppet during that time. But I love that Kita was just translating for Hitori. It was great. We got some details about the new guitar, which is that it's custom made, and it's great considering the price. And we hear that the shop manager has been taking care of it all this time. And I like that, you know, she's also like, hey, come back soon, you know? She wants to keep a check on this guitar that she loves so much. And I like that it's just another showcase of, like, her imagination going haywire when the reality is not that, you know? It's like, the managers, they have a passion, they have a love for music, so, like, they're not going to fucking kick you out just because you don't like Western music, Western rock or whatever. So it's very nice. It's just a continuation, kind of like with what Nijika said, where she's like, I thought she's evolved, I thought she's grown in some ways, but I guess not. And that's essentially the description for Hitori. It's like, I feel like she's grown, but I guess not. So yeah, new guitar, new Bocchi, and as she says towards the end, another day at the job, and the series continues. Whether it'll continue in season 2 or it'll just be continued in the manga and all that. To which, no, actually, there's nothing there. I should have just ended that sentence. I got too many transitional words that I use, even though I should just stop talking. Anyways, that's my thoughts for the episode in general. My thoughts for the series as a whole, though, I enjoyed this show for the most part. You know, I really like the messaging that it comes through with this series, you know, especially to people with social anxiety and everything. And I like to see the growth on our characters, for both for Hitori, for Kita, for Nijika, and not Rio. I feel like in terms of the 3 members of the band, I feel like they have been doing the most growing, and I do wonder if we're going to see more of Ryo's parts later on in the manga, in the series, and all that. I'm not going to read the manga, by the way. Last time I remember it was that it's a 4-koma, and I cannot read 4-koma mangas. It hurts my brain, and I do not appreciate that. Anyways, yeah, I do wonder if we're going to continue to get more growth with Ryo and all that, and whether we're going to see, like, her meeting up with her old band, or, you know, them are just at the concert or whatever, and they see her old band and all that, since that's something that we've learned from Ryo and all that. And somebody did make a comment about one of the posters that Ryo was looking during her episode, that one of the band was the one that she used to play in. So, you know, I assume that's going to come into play later on. But for now, in terms of like, I don't know, I would say nitpick, but also possibly the weakest link for me is Ryo, because again, other than her episode and getting to see more details into her, which I really like, I felt like after that we kind of just got her we just had her fall back into her low gags, which again is her mooching off of other people that she's poor and she's been eating grass because she's not getting enough food, and also she loves food. And she's a music fanatic, and it just kind of feels like, other than that small little dive that we had in her episode 4, I believe, we haven't really had all that. Oh well, we had like one section where she was talking about her trauma at flunking her performance and all that, but other than that, I really just felt like she just kind of fell back into just doing gags and stuff, and I was just kind of, it was all right. I mean, not really too much for me to talk about. I mean, Ryo is also the one who's been saying that, you know, Bocchi's so fun, I don't know why people aren't hanging out with her and all that, but Oh, and I also forgot, there's the case of Ryo not actually wanting to hang out with the group because, you know, she is a loner by form, and she'd rather spend time with herself, you know, and do other things just by herself instead. And we can see when she does hang out, she always tries to like go off on her own and do her own shit, but she gets taken back by Nijika. There's also that aspect where, you know, we had an episode 7 where Ryo didn't come to visit Hitori's house, so we kind of just had an episode with the 3 members for the most part, and, you know, Ryo's just off eating food and all that. I only had a couple of episodes that I thought were alright, which is pretty funny because whenever I go back into editing and I look at the reaction, I'm just like, wow, it looked like I'm having such a fun time. And then you go into the discussion and I just say, oh, it was an alright episode. But, you know, for episodes like episode 9 or episode 11, it's just the group hanging out and having fun, and despite me, you know, having fun as well and laughing at everything, it doesn't really, I don't really get all that much out of it, you know, other than just laughter. But I feel like when it comes to comedy and all that, you can get all the ha-has out of me, but like, am I going to remember it once this episode's over? Probably not, you know, unless it's something that just absolutely fucking bops and I really enjoy it, which is the fucking headbanging stuff. I really like that in terms of the gag. It's very funny to me, and again, it will live rent-free in my head. But a lot of like other jokes that came into this show, again, I find it very funny, like haha funny, but it's not really something for me to think about afterwards, you know? It's just like that whole aspect of Bocchi freaking out and her going into that, like, I don't know, that fucking flippin' mental state that she did, which I know that, like, people meme about it for that one, but I didn't really care much for it. But also, it's because I had a minor spoiler about it, so I kind of already knew about it when it first came, so it wasn't really a big shock to me. Anyways, the animation, the art style, and the constant changes in the art style, you know, whether it switches to 3D or switches to a whole completely new different style, is very fun, and I think it's very needed for an anime that's like very comedy or gag focused, like this manga that is, you know, a 4-panel. I really like the implementation that they've put into the show, and I think the voice actors, especially Hitori's, did a very good job. I think I remember somebody talking about how she did all that freak out voice herself, the voice actor, and there wasn't really much needed for special effects or anything. And I also really like the way that they did the incorporation of the 3D models and the 2D art together, as somebody else mentioned that, you know, I can't remember whether they recorded like actual people playing. Is that what it was? They recorded actual people playing and then they layered that over with a 3D model, and then they drew the 2D onto it, which is why it kind of looked a little odd to me. Like, it looked 3D, but it didn't look 3D at the same time. So like, I kind of liked the way that they showcased it. And of course, consider that this is a music anime, the soundtracks have been such a fucking bop, and it certainly follows in the direction of the art styles, you know, and the art changes, and there's very many different soundtrack to describe Hitori's feelings, essentially, and I very much enjoy the variety that was happening in this show. And of course, we've got the Kesoku band and their own songs as well, which I've kind of already mentioned, that they're the sort of band they're the sort of band that makes songs that, like, if I were to hear it on the radio or if I were streaming music and it just came on, I wouldn't exactly skip, you know, I wouldn't exactly skip the song. I'd listen to it, but it personally would not be on my playlist. Now, songs like from what is Hiroi's band again? Sick Hack. There you go. Songs from Sick Hack. Now that is the sort of songs that would go straight into my fucking playlist. By the way, if you're still here and if you're interested in, like, I don't know, my taste in music or something, I'll put my playlist down below. I try to update it, not on a regular basis as much anymore, because as I talked about with, like, my whole music makes me daydream and all that. I don't really listen to much music. Much music. I don't listen to music as much anymore, and I don't really go out searching for new songs. But when I do find new songs, I'll still add it to my playlist. So, if you want to go in there and listen to some of my music and grab the one that you like. And I say my music as if I make music. No, they're just music I listen to. What else is there that I haven't talked about? Because I feel like I've pretty much covered what I wanted to talk about. The animation, the music, the voice acting, the message, the characters, the things that I am kind of alright with, but, I don't particularly like, but I don't hate either. And that's why it's alright. My minor nitpick on Rio, but I assume that we'll get to see more of her later on once we, start kicking more into her storyline and all that. Going back to the characters, I really like that everybody is out here uplifting one another. Whether it's Rio in her episode telling Hitori that she should just write whatever the fuck she wants, and she shouldn't care about if it's too sad or anything. It's the raw lyrics that will bring people in, or it's the raw lyrics that Hitori really liked. That Rio really liked. And also, Rio likes the way that Hitori writes. It's awkward and it's very raw. And for Nijika, she's been feeling very much encouraged by Hitori, where whenever they've always been in a sticky situation, Hitori is the person who stands up. She is a hero to Nijika, and I like that. In a way, it's the same. It's the same for Hitori, where if it wasn't for Nijika, she would not be here in this situation in the first place. She is growing because of Nijika, and I really like that relationship that they have with each other, and her relationship with Kita, where I was thinking about how they all bounce back at each other for Hitori. I don't know what Kita is for, because we know that Hitori is very important for Kita because she's the one who brought her back to the band, and she's the one who attracted her with her guitar skills and all that, and that she wants to support her. But I can't really figure out what Kita does for Hitori other than just constantly triggering her. She's bringing her to new environments, she said, even though she knew that Hitori didn't want to be a part of this festival play, she still did it. And sometimes it's that push that will really get the person moving. Because again, Hitori was never going to do this, and she just needed that one push, and that was Kita. And they had a good performance for the most part until Hitori fell flat on the ground, but they had a great performance. I suppose that is just Kita, huh? She just keeps pushing on Hitori's boundaries. Just like how Hitori makes her go out of bounds sometimes. I would assume, with her playing guitar, it's something that she felt like she could never learn. She didn't even know what a bass and what a guitar was in the beginning. And so she was definitely a fish out of water. That's how we saw her in episode 3 and all that. So I suppose that's the one thing, the both of them are able to push each other's out of bounds. And so it's just that Kita's been adapting to it a lot more than Hitori. So I really like that symbiotic relationship that, everybody have in the band, especially and of course, they're all gravitating towards Hitori. Well, I think that's pretty much it. If I have anything else to say, I will write it in the description down below. Thank you guys for sticking with me throughout all of this, especially if you're here listening to this now and you haven't clicked off. I'm just saying, I know how many people click off. Anyway. But yeah, thank you guys for sticking around. I really appreciate you guys. And yeah, I'll see you guys when I see you guys.